We'll wait for 3 minutes. We can get started. Just so those of you that aren't aware, we're going to start this meeting with a very short executive session. So we're going to come out of session to go into another room for a brief period. My apologies. So I will take a motion to enter executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay.
Kyle on?
He was.
He was.
Okay,
Yep, there he is.
there he
Okay.
goes. Okay.
They go to another meeting.
Well, we could start our own meeting.
All right. Move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn. No, we have too many people that do too many good things for the community to do that. They should all have an opportunity to speak and tell us all the good things that they do. If you're a warrant committee member, could you identify yourself so we can just have an idea who's on?
I'm here.
Jerry Miller, present. Donna Reese, present.
Kathy Miller, present.
Ellie Andrews, present.
Gail Marshall, present.
Trina Carter, present.
Hey, we know that girl. She's famous.
And we are going to resume our regular meeting. So I will take a motion to approve the minutes from February 1, 2021.
This is Wendy. Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we are now going to consider, okay, I guess a consent agenda. All right, Hancock County Commissioners Special Meeting Minutes of January 30th, 2021.
Move we accept the agenda as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, no selectmen's reports.
I have
No.
a selectmen's report, John,
Well,
just
all right.
a quick one, I'm sorry. But we have a tentative meeting scheduled to go over the warrant on March 8th. It's scheduled for 4 o'clock. And I want to know if we can change that to 6:30. I have to go to Portland that day. And I don't think I'll be back by 4.
Whatever you guys want for a time, just tell me. We'll
Is that okay
change it,
with
sure.
the rest of you?
Yeah, it's fine with me.
It is. AM or PM?
It's a 6:30 PM,
Okay,
on March 8th, Monday.
This
Okay.
is a selectmen's meeting
Mhm.
yep.
that doesn't involve. So I guess it does.
It's going over the warrant, but it's just, I can't make it at 4.
Okay.
All right. Okay, thank you. No unfinished business, new business, service groups, third-party budget, 2021-22 requests. All right, and I would just ask everyone to keep it as short as they can. We like to, about 3 minutes. That'd be great. And I will go down the list one at a time here. All right, community health and counseling services. Anybody here to represent community health and counseling?
Claire, was that one that you said was on last week? The people showed up or not? I'm trying to think about.
Oh, they
that.
didn't come last time either.
Yeah, they didn't come, but I sent emails out letting them know that we would like to have them come tonight.
So they didn't come? Okay.
They are asking for what amounts to less than 1/1000th of 1% of their operating budget. I'm a little confused to begin with.
Yeah. All right, Health Equity Alliance, formerly Down East AIDS Network.
I think, didn't they have trouble getting in last time?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We may want to ask them what's going on there. Mount Desert Community Development Corporation.
They're not applying this year.
Okay, why is that on the list here? Okay. Mount Desert Island Historical Society, Rainy Bench, is she online?
I'm here. Yep. Hello.
Great. Hello.
Good evening. Sorry, I don't have my camera on, but I'm here. And the MDI Historical Society, I'm really pleased to say we were able to open Williamsville campus last year as planned for all of our original dates from June through the beginning of September. We offered free Wi-Fi service, porta potties, and then general maintenance of the bridge and the site overall, in addition to 2 new exhibits that were focused on the bicentennial for the state of Maine. So this year we are planning on being open again as normal. We are offering 2 new exhibits that will open on the history of science on the island, also have free Wi-Fi and the porta potties. So the request that we're making will hold our, what we're asking to be steady from years past for the Wi-Fi and for the porta potties and just general maintenance of the bridge.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Any
you.
questions? Mount Desert Masonic Lodge number 140.
That is the one that we have every year that's kind of funky.
Oh, is that the
is
quid?
that's the one where they give us the water in exchange for the taxes. That was the deal that came out. They're a nonprofit, but they do rent to the theater. So that means that the state says that they need to be taxed on the portion of their organization that is for profit. So over the years, the boards have decided there was quite a hoorah about this many years ago. So we decided that it would be a wash. They furnish the water for the Somersville Fire Station, so it's a trade-off between that and the taxes. So it comes out to 0. So that's what that one's all about. It's very odd, but it seems to work.
Okay. Yep. Mount Desert Nursery School.
Hello, this is Aaron Long. I'm the director of the Mount Desert Nursery School. I think like everybody else, right, we got hit pretty hard over the last year. We ended up being closed from middle of March till middle of June. Reopened with a much reduced capacity and slowly increased as we felt it was safe to do so. We're still operating at a significantly lower than what our capacity is allowed by the state, just to ensure that our staff and the kids and the families are all as safe as possible. And kind of one of the trade-offs for that is that we had a number of projects that were on the back that have got put on the back burner over the course of the year that we're trying to play some catch up on, some storage maintenance, some replacement of some older equipment that's kind of fallen by the wayside. We had some tree care and removal that was done recently. We're gonna get some new saplings back there for some shade trees and what have you. So, that's we're requesting the amount of $2,000 for the school.
Great, thanks, Aaron. Any questions?
I have a question for Aaron. This is Phil Lichtenstein from the Warrant Committee. There's been questions from the Warrant Committee, moving forward. Do you see the pre-K program with MDES possibly going forward in the year 2022? I realize that you probably were not ready for this year and it doesn't seem to be budgeted.
It's definitely won't happen in the fall of 2021. We had, previously discussions that, this time, January of last year, and kind of we're looking at what would have been the start of the 2021 school year, so this past fall. But, obviously the world kind of shut down and that got put on the significant back burner, and like everybody else, the school district and us, we're all kind of playing catch up at the moment for the time being. I think we'll probably pick up those discussions again in the fall once things are back in place and kind of get a reassessment of where the public schools are, where we are, and whether or not that's going to be able to continue to happen. But I would say at the very earliest would be the fall of 2022.
Thank you, Aaron, because I just wanted to know if the idea was still alive and still being discussed for when it's safe.
Yep, it's there, and we're aware, but we gotta build back up towards that point. So,
thank you, Aaron.
You're welcome.
Great. Any other questions? Mount Desert Nursing Association.
Hi, everybody. I'm Amy McVetti. I'm the new executive director of the MDNA, taking over for
I
Heather
don't
Lewis.
think your sound is turned on.
It
I can
It
hear you.
is.
I can
you
hear.
me?
I can hear.
Okay. So I'm the new executive director. For those that didn't hear you, hopefully you can hear me, of the MDNA. Heather Lewis has left the organization. She's still helping behind the scenes immensely with everything that I'm learning. So for us, we actually had an increase in patients in Mount Desert that we saw from last year to this year. Last year, we saw 27 residents in Mount Desert, and this year we saw 48 residents of Mount Desert. We had 16 that were receiving private pay services, 526 private pay visits, and we had 34 Medicare beneficiaries receiving about 637 visits in this year. And so we're asking for the same amount of support that we have received in prior years to continue to help offset some of those costs associated with providing care to community members. I'm not sure what else you want from me to sort of substantiate the information you received.
Okay, does anybody have any questions? No, thank you, Amy.
I have a question. You serve the entire island now, is that correct?
We do, yes.
And are you getting a lot of calls from other towns as well as Mount
We
Desert?
do, yes.
Yeah.
It's picking up more and more as people begin to realize that we are island-wide now. And COVID was hard for us as well to manage, but we didn't skip a beat. We continued to see patients through all of it. So I think, it's something to be really proud of, that the team really stepped up and maintained care for everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
Sure.
you.
Birch Bay, don't you?
We do.
I thought, okay.
If this is Jeff Wood, a quick question about, I understand a lot of the expenses that you incur providing your services are reimbursed through insurance, but you must be running at a significant deficit. Is that what you're,
Yes.
Yes. I'm more interested in like how much of a deficit and, that's all. What kinds of things, I know you answered the question for plans for fundraisers, but just,
Yes. Well, so typically, even with the reimbursement, we are still needing to fundraise about 25% of the cost that it takes to care for our patients. The reimbursement, it doesn't cover things like wound care supplies, dressing supplies that are really expensive. And, sometimes we need to see the patient more often than what we can be reimbursed for. And we do that. We make sure that the patient's needs are met regardless really about the reimbursement. So we really do count on about 25% of our bottom line to be fundraised.
Okay, thank you. That's what I
You're
wanted.
welcome.
Appreciate it.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you, Amy.
Yep, you're welcome.
All right, MDI Campfire Coalition.
Oh, my favorite cause. So I'm Anne Marie Hart. I'm Executive Director of the Neighborhood House, and the Campfire Association, or Coalition rather, is a joint program between the Harbor House and the Neighborhood House. It's heating assistance. Those that qualify get 100 gallons of heating fuel, or the equivalent if they use electric or wood or propane. And we're requesting $3,000. We request $3,000 from all the municipalities on the town, on the island, excuse me. Last heating season, so this program operates November 1st through the end of April. We did 85 households, which helped 206 people. And so far this heating season, we've done 57 households with 134 people being helped. And the best thing about this program is it's 100% pass through. So the Harbor House and Neighborhood House, we don't take any administrative cuts or fees. So every dollar buys heating fuel. And sadly, this is a very needed effort on this island.
Any questions? Thank you, Anne Marie. All right, Neighborhood House, you're up again.
Yeah. So as of last year, we have happily served our community for 115 years at the Neighborhood House. And that 115th year was probably the most challenging, like it was for everybody here. I'm happy to report our motto became, do as much as we can, as best as we can, as safely as we can. And it worked brilliantly for us. We were able to offer essentially, I would say 90% of our regular programming, which was our whole goal, just for, everybody's mental health and the spirit of the community. Obviously, there were some modifications with that, but we pulled off things brilliantly, trying to be flexible. And I credit that to my staff. Before COVID-19 last January, we were roaring. Every year continues to be more busy at the Neighborhood House. And I will throw in, we sort of act as the municipal parks and rec department that the town doesn't have. And since this is the 14th year, we're asking for $88,000. And since we started asking for that $88,000, we haven't obviously increased that a penny, even though our operating budget has gone up 65%. So we have stepped up our private fundraising efforts. We had well-attended cafes at the beginning of last year, full yoga classes, our annual sweetheart dance at Valentine's Day, our pizza pie party, and then mid-March hit. But we rebounded quite well, and we had full yoga classes, full being 18 spaced out in the Great Hall where we had painter's tape. We really, with every decision we made, it wasn't just about our own programs, it was about the community health at large and how our programs might affect that. So we were quite cautious. We did not run summer camp. We didn't have a location. We didn't feel it was safe, but we stepped up and offered all kinds of standalone programs. We had kids' art classes and craft classes and cooking classes and a hiking club and even TikTok dance classes. I did not instruct that. We even turned our annual summer tradition of the bike parade and ice cream social into a drive-through ice cream social on Rock End Road. When fall hit and the kids went back to school, we picked right up with our after-school program. We had our trick-or-treat truck, which was actually really funny this year. We co-sponsored that with the Mount Desert Chamber of Commerce. We drove to every village giving out treats with our 6-foot candy claw. So we tried to remain, have a sense of humor. And our community cafe that's so popular that 150 people gather in the Great Hall. Obviously that wasn't going to happen. We could have said, oh, guess we can't do it, shrugged our shoulders. We then changed it to a carry-out community cafe, which even though that's not the spirit of that program. It's really about the gathering. We still are doing 150 or just under, and people are so thrilled that we're doing something instead of nothing. And they come through, it's to go only, and we get to see everybody, say a quick hi. So that's been really well received. We've done Pilates classes and Tai Chi and yoga. We're currently doing a youth dance class. So I think it's business as usual, as much as we can be usual right now.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Anne Marie? No, thanks, Anne Marie. Now you're up again for the youth programs.
Oh, no, I don't know why.
Oh, you did.
So I'm actually, that 88,000 comprises 3 line items in the town budget. So I just did that whole shebang in one scoop, John.
Oh, good. Thank you so much.
So just Anne Marie, to be clear, I think I know the answer to this, but you still, you do not turn any kids or families away. And that's the other way that, if kids want to play sports and the parents can't pay those fees and camp fees, you have scholarships for those as well, right?
Correct. We never turn anybody away, and it's not just kids. So for example, in normal times, our Great Hall is used for all kinds of things, from memorial services to wedding receptions. And if a local couple came to us and said, oh, I can't afford your suggested donation for our wedding reception, our company line is always, all right, let's talk. What do you think you can afford? We would never say, well, the space isn't available then.
Thank you.
Great. Awesome.
Can I
Thank you very
follow up?
much.
Can I follow up quickly with that? I just had a question about the youth sports, because I know that when Acadia, I'm not exact, my kids are all grown up now, but with the Acadia youth sports, a lot of the rec department stuff that the neighborhood house and harbor house and so on used to do is no longer on. So tell me about Wendy's question about a kid who wants to play sports. They're not actually enrolling through the neighborhood house anymore, are they?
They do. So Jeff, good question. Obviously, Acadia Youth Sports formed, and they do things brilliantly on a larger scale, but Harbor House and the Y and Neighborhood House still do their old school recreational soccer and youth basketball programs.
Okay, I got it. Okay, thank you.
Are you looking to coach?
No.
Jeez. Okay.
John, can I ask a question about summer programs? Emery, what do you think might be happening this summer with summer camp?
So our plan is to proceed with summer camp. And for those that don't know, the Neighborhood House's summer camp programs actually run out of the Mount Desert Elementary School, and they have for decades. We don't have space at the Neighborhood House itself to do that. And so we are currently waiting to hear back from the superintendent as to whether or not the school will be available to us. We're hopeful, because of course the kids are in school, and we will proceed with probably a limited numbers traditional summer camp. If for whatever reason, I can't speak for them, I don't know why it wouldn't be available, we will simply bump up the model we did last summer, which was all of these standalone kids activities that worked out really well.
And the pool was closed last summer. Do you think it will be closed again this summer?
No, we have every intention of opening that back up. When COVID hit, they still didn't know, even as of April and May, if COVID could survive in chlorine. And so that town pool is not even a public pool. It's really a backyard pool for its size. And so it takes weeks to get that up and running. And so we were left with, oh gosh, everything is still so unknown. Our 19-year-old lifeguard, we put this poor kid in charge of saying only so many can come in and telling parents, no, you can't let your kid into the gated area yet. There was so many balls up in the air, but we will be opening that this summer for multiple reasons. Obviously, the mechanics of it shouldn't sit for that long. And we're currently figuring out how to do either a reservation system or a timed system, how we can offer safely sort of a community open swim.
Good, thank you.
So get your bathing suit out, Kathy.
Yeah. You don't want to see that.
All right, thanks, Anne Marie.
Mm-hmm.
Northeast Ambulance Service.
All right, this is Basil Mahaney, Service Chief for the Ambulance Service. We're asking for $20,000 this year. Obviously with COVID-19, that was a big challenge for us and hit us in a couple different ways. One of the things that happened where we rely a lot on donations is we actually were unable to hold many of our annual fundraising events. We weren't able to have the Northeast Harbor Road Race and Fun Walk, and we also do some other events we just weren't able to have. The other big thing for us is we actually added another responder on duty 24/7 during the pandemic, and we plan to continue that right on through the next 2 years. But adding that extra employee has created a big expense for the service. It's been great as far as service to the town goes. It's, you know, helped to decrease response times, helps to guarantee that, you know, the ambulance is going to get to where it needs to go in a timely fashion. And it's really been a good thing for the community. But obviously it does cost a lot of money. We're looking at this year that, you know, our wages are going to be in excess of $300,000. And so this is just a small amount that we came up with that we're hoping the town can help us out with just to get us through. And we appreciate you considering it.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Any questions for Basil? Northeast Harbor Library, Ellie.
Good evening. I'm Ellie Andrews from the Northeast Harbor Library. I thank you for this opportunity to request funding at this time. The library serves the town of Mount Desert, the Cranberry Isles, and surrounding towns. The library is an open space, free to anyone. As was the case for everybody, last year was an unusual year. We had to switch gears and ramp up our digital services, including all our programs, which we switched to a Zoom format. Although we were closed, we worked in staggered shifts until we could reopen safely on July 1st. We offer curbside pickup, which we will continue even after COVID departs. Although our foot traffic went down by 50%, we still checked out 32,589 items. We lend books, audios, DVDs, and magazines, all for free. We serve as the school library for the Mount Desert Elementary School. We have an extensive archive collection and to date have over 15,000 items digitized, which is doubled from last year. We also house the town records for the town of Mount Desert. We have a scholarship program, which is available to high school students who wish to further their education. Residents of Mount Desert and the Cranberry Isles are eligible to apply. Last year, we awarded 29 scholarships at $2,400 each. The scholarships are awarded for 5 years. There are a lot of moving parts to the library, including utilities. There is something for everyone, young, old, and in between. I'm asking for $20,500 to help with staff salaries and acquisitions. Thank you again.
Thanks, Ellie. Any questions? Jerry, Northeast Harbor Village Improvement Society. Is Jerry on? No. Okay, Northern Lights.
Jerry is here. Jerry's here, but he's muted.
Oh.
No, that's the wrong Jerry.
Oh, if you look at the telephone number, it's the right Jerry.
Ah, well, somebody should.
Hello?
Well, there he is.
Hey, Jerry.
Yes. Sorry for the limited expertise in the technology here. Jerry Summersby with the Northeast Harbor Village Improvement Society. We're requesting the same amount as we did last year for $5,000, just to ongoing with the cutting and keeping the trails open. Really have no idea whether we've had an increase over the past year of use. I suspect we have, but we really have no way of knowing it. But it's a great place to be out and be outdoors and have an opportunity to exercise for everyone in the village here. So hopefully we'll be getting to be doing some cutting. I hope this year. It's very hard to coordinate the crews to do the tree cutting, but we'll keep keep asking, keep trying. So
Thanks, Jerry. Any questions for Jerry?
Jerry, this is Matt Hart. I was just wondering, are you guys still producing those trail maps?
we are. We also, I haven't checked, but we spoke with Kyle about getting our map, on the town website so people could retrieve it from on a cell phone if they want. Although there's something we just said to going into the woods without a cell phone. But
it's amazing how expensive they are when you see the map. It's
yeah, they are expensive. I think a lot of people take them just because they're there as a handout at various drop places. But we're gonna try to keep them in the boxes on the at the trailheads themselves for safety, keep people from getting lost or frustrated. But between the two, hopefully everyone will be able to see where they're going. So Kyle's he's a map man, so I suspect, I haven't checked, I suspect it's already on there.
Yes, I can confirm, Jerry, the maps are both on the webpage, and I believe pre-COVID, we had them on, on the rack at the visitors area in the town office.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
I haven't had a chance to thank you. So thank you from all of us for doing that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Great, thanks. All right. Any other questions for Jerry? No. Northern Light Home Care and Hospice. Northern Light Home Care and Hospice, Colleen Hilton. Okay, Old Dog, oh, no, that's not. Open Door Recovery Center, Rosamond McLean.
If you're on, we can't hear you.
There's no request, I believe.
No, it doesn't look like the request that came through.
But it looked like there was somebody trying to answer and it was not audible.
I don't believe they made a request.
Oh, no. And she's not a participant. All right. Pretty Marsh Community Corporation.
Okay, that's us. I'm Ellie Panko. I'm the treasurer of the Pretty Marsh Community Corporation, and I'm here with my fellow board member, Lynn Gould. First of all, we want to thank you for letting us make a request. We are asking for money to help rebuild the front porch of the old one-room schoolhouse that is our responsibility. This town gave us the building in 1937, and we've had to maintain it ever since with basically only volunteer effort and donations from the village, of the people who actually live in Pretty Marsh. So we get by with a little bit of fundraising and a yard sale every year, and we pay our insurance so that we can use the building. We pay for electricity, and it doesn't leave a lot more. And meanwhile, the building continues to age. And at this point, the porch is not really safe anymore. I brought you a little visual, but I don't know how well you can see this.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Rotted wood, basically. So we are asking $9,500, as we've gotten several bids, and that looks like that'll cover it for us to completely rebuild it, make it wider, make it possible to eventually add a wheelchair ramp, just make the building safer and more accessible.
Great. Thank you, Ellie. Any questions? Nope. Great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Seal Harbor Library Association.
So yes, this is Mary and Joy from the Seal Harbor Library. As everybody knows, we were closed for a little bit last year, but we did remain open for the most part. We did have to alter our plans. We had to cancel a lot of our fundraisers. We did get to send out a request for funds at Christmas time that was that did us well. We also have shifted a lot of our stuff to the online and on our website. We have stories online and we have activities, and we want to enhance this for this summer coming forward. We also plan on having our fair and book sale. We're optimistic that things will be fine, and it's outside, so we're hoping that that will help in raising our funds. Any questions?
All right. Thank you, Deborah. I mean, Mary, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Okay, Seal Harbor Village Improvement Society. That's Deborah. All right. Sonesville Library Association. Carol, I know I saw Carol on here.
Yeah, Carol is here as well as I am, Steve, Anastasia. I'm
Hi,
the
Steve.
treasurer. Hello, it's nice to see all you guys. We're requesting again a $11,000 amount from the town to help manage and keep our library open. The Sonesville Library Association manages the private historic library that is open to all members of the public, and it's a defining, iconic image for the entire town or village of Sonesville and the island itself. We have a librarian that has been there for over 20 years, and throughout the pandemic, with varying levels of restrictions, we have maintained our ability to have library books available and current fiction available for the public and provide that service for people. We lost our Books and Blueberry Festival this year. That is the primary fundraiser for us, and we are looking at a very diminished portion of what we're capable of doing with COVID restrictions in place. And so we do request the same amount as last year, and we really appreciate anything that the town can do for us. And Carol, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, I'm good with what you just said.
Thank you.
Okay, any questions? All right, Sonesville Village Improvement Society. That's you, Charlie.
Charlie Renner, President of Sonesville Village Improvement Society. We provide for flower arrangements at the firehouse.
Can you speak closer to your microphone? It's very hard to hear you.
We provide for the flower arrangements at the firehouse. We provide for the flower boxes by the mill pond, and provide for the maintenance on the arch bridge by the selectmen's meeting. We provide for landscaping at the flagpole at the intersection 102 and 193. We take care of the signs at the north and south end of the village, and we clear scenic vistas and stream beds, and we're asking for $3,000.
Okay. Great, thanks, Charlie. Any questions? No. SPCA of Hancock County. No.
Hi,
we're
I'm
here.
Jamie O'Keefe. I'm
Go
Jamie
ahead,
O'Keefe.
Jamie.
I'm Jamie O'Keefe. I'm a board member of SPCA. This is Pamela, who will introduce herself. First of all, I want to thank you for the opportunity to, come before you tonight.
My name is Pamela Karwasinski. I am the development manager for the SPCA. And I'm going to let Jamie talk a little bit more about this, but we have not asked for town funding from MDI and Bar Harbor. And we, like everyone else, have had a difficult COVID year. So I'm going to turn it over to Jamie to talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, as you can imagine, like many of the nonprofits that have come before you, we were hit pretty hard by COVID. Right now we're not open to the public. We're only open adoptions by appointment. And an interesting fact of COVID, in the first couple of months, our shelter almost cleared out of animals because people had free time. They were at home, they were adopting or fostering. And then as the year went on and people were harder hit by the economy of COVID, we started seeing more people surrendering pets who were no longer able to afford to care for them. Our biggest summer event, we had to go virtual last summer. We're hoping to go live this year, but who knows? And that was a big hit as far as fundraising goes. And as Pamela said, right now we receive no municipal, state, or federal funding. All of the money that we take to keep our shelter open comes from donations and surrender fees, adoption fees. And just to give you perspective, in the last 2 years, we have taken in and adopted out more than 1,000 cats and about 200 dogs. So there's definitely a need for our services, on MDI and the surrounding communities. And we were requesting $500.
And I will say that the folks in MDI are big adopters. Not so much, we don't receive a lot of animals from you, but they're big adopters. You guys took 46 cats and 6 dogs in 2020. And we don't turn any animal away. And I think Jamie may have said one of our biggest expenses is veterinary expenses. And we do whatever it takes. We're no kill shelter, so we do whatever it takes. So I think that, when we were thinking about asking you for town funding, we were sort of looking at who we were serving. And, we do serve you. People in MDI, they wanted animals this year. And so even though we charge to adopt a dog or a cat, and it's all in here, it is not nowhere near covers the cost of what it costs us to house that animal, feed it, and for, again, veterinary care. So that's why we're asking for your help this year. And we thank you for letting us come.
Yep.
Hey, thank you.
Yep, thanks for the consideration.
Mm-hmm. Any questions? All right, WIC nutrition program. Tony Jacobs, no. And lastly, yesterday's children.
I don't think they requested either, John.
Okay, why are they on the list?
I don't know. I don't have anything from them.
Okay, no, you're right. WIC is the last one we have. All right, very good.
That everyone that's at this meeting has done their presentation. We haven't missed somebody along the way with a bad mic or anything.
No.
Okay.
All right. Very good. Well, thanks everybody for coming tonight. And that brings us to other business. Any other business? We have no treasurer's warrants, so I guess I'm looking for a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
John,
Yes.
before you go,
what I'd like to ask the board is there are a number of people that these requests that people didn't come. Is there anything you want of the administration to do as far as follow up to these? I'm looking for some guidance.
Yeah, please follow up with some of these folks that have actually made requests, and yeah, that'll be great. Okay.
Will do.
Yeah, there appear to be a few on there that just didn't submit the paperwork. So I think anyone we had paperwork for but didn't show up.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to be the person like, you know, we need to see a doctor's note or something, but they should have a legitimate reason for not being able to attend, I would think.
So can I clarify, are we asking Derlin to follow up only on the people that submitted but did not show up at the meeting? Or are we asking him also to follow up on people who have routinely submitted but did not?
No, just people that haven't shown up that have submitted. Yeah.
Thank you.
Just clarify, the next meeting got moved, correct? It's not at 4 o'clock, it's at 6:30?
Well, we have a meeting on the 1st, and then
Which is our
we
regular
have a
meeting.
regular meeting on the 1st, but then there's an extra meeting on the 8th, which we may or may not need depending on where we are with the warrant.
Got you.
And
Okay.
I'm suspecting you probably need that because I think there'll be a couple of articles that will need to be cleaned up. So that should be a relatively short meeting. I don't think that we'll have a whole lot, but there may be 2 or 3 that you may need to vote on that won't be ready for March 1st. So, but yeah, we'll move that to 6:30. That's not a huge issue.
So both next week and the week after will be 6:30 if.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I will say that on the 8th, you're going to be having public hearings on the money articles. And I guess any ordinance changes.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Then I would move adjournment.
Great.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you, everybody.